All right. So it's a little bit overdue, but everyone gets busy. We weren't able to do it in the time that we wanted to. But we are finally getting this recording out of the way. And we'll do part 2 another time when we can at least get Blake available to do it. Because at least want to have her in for one of them. Okay. So this was a little bit different of a movie in comparison, at least how they do RWBY normally. Because normally, and they talked about this in how they write RWBY, they normally don't have fight scenes unless it serves a plot detail. And this movie was bordering on 90% fight scenes. So that was a little bit different than normal. But anyway, I guess we can just kind of go over favorite parts. Ray, go ahead.
I don't know if it counts, but I just really liked all their designs. All the DC characters' designs. I really like how they translated certain things, like making Vixen a Faunus and everything.
Yeah. Vixen and Jessica are my 2 favorites. Those look really good. I appreciate like a decent, like just trying to let a woman wear something other than tight spandex.
I also generally feel like they did pretty good at make them all act younger. Because, they
Yeah.
are meant to be adults, but they really made them all younger. Like, Clark's a little extra of a dork. Bruce is very unsure of himself. It's cute. I like it.
We'll get to negatives. There was only one negative
Yeah, I was
portrayal of
gonna
a
say,
character that I
trust
have.
me, trust me, trust me. I feel like we have the same negative here.
Because oh boy, it was a complaint I heard before the movie, but I'm not going to be one of those people that's like everyone's RWBY does everything wrong. This is one where I kind of agree. But yeah, go ahead.
What, me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just because I always go back and watch the scene, my favorite part is just the guy on the piano. This time I got the side character and he didn't die.
It was true. This time he just never existed.
But
Because it was
no,
all a simulation.
But no, yeah, that was perfect. And then just seeing them all so young and acting like teens. I would
Yeah.
never want to go back to my teen era. Dear God, no. But
Oh, yeah. If I got to go back to I will say, after 7th grade teen era, I would like to go back. After all the bullshit I dealt with in my life, I had a pretty good life.
I deal with teenagers. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to go back.
Yeah, but guess what? The teenagers I dealt with were teenagers. I wasn't an adult dealing with teenagers. That's worse. Because you then get to see the bullshit from an angle where you're not a part of it, but you still have to deal with it.
True.
All right. Yeah. So it was cool getting to see them fight without using dust, because that is the main thing we can have against it, and seeing the Grim be, I guess, a little bit more durable. I like that we got to see Glinda's new voice actress. A lot of people that don't know, because I think they heard her talk on a news report once during Volume 4. Pretty much immediately after Volume 3, Glinda's voice actress had a falling out with Rooster Teeth, and like she's not there working with them anymore. So she has a new voice actress, and you barely ever get to hear her because you really don't have a reason to, because they weren't at Beacon anymore. Yeah, I really like their new designs. Vixen's I liked quite a bit. Actually, giving her a foxtail, that was great. The only one I can honestly, two, I can honestly say that felt like they didn't quite know what they wanted with the characters were Flash and Cyborg.
Yeah.
Cyborg seemed a little half together. Flash seems like they got it, but he looks a little bit more like a Kingdom Hearts character than a RWBY character. He's got
like his outfit, yeah.
He's got an exorbitant amount of zippers on him.
I was like, okay, decently okay with the hair, but his outfit was constantly kind of on my nerves.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was a bit extra, and everyone else was like pretty laid back and simple. Like even Bruce's or Batman's was all like kind of normal. They had made him more like a ninja, which I was okay with, because I was like, that training and that kind of stuff. That was good.
Yeah.
So other than the fact that we find out that they're dealing with Kilgore, which is a very low tier villain, I guess, who, from what I looked at, debuted in like 2011, so he's relatively new. We like Kilgore, Texas came up before Kilgore, the comic book character, when I was searching it on Google, and I've never heard of Kilgore, Texas. But the story was pretty basic. They just had to figure out where they were. They had a lot of good fight scenes in it. The fight scene in the airship was pretty great.
Mhm.
Can actually fly through. Them trying to figure out how to make. That's one thing that I've always kind of appreciated about RWBY is that you get a semblance. It's a very limited thing, and then you figure out how to use it to its fullest, and then you realize that like how technically underpowered they are compared to things in other shows where Wonder Woman has a lasso, bulletproof, completely unbreakable gauntlets. She can fly, and then like just thinking about Superman, and it's just how did we make them depowered? You need to pick like one, like with Wonder Woman, you can do one at a time. That's it. We're not going to make a rule to say what your semblance is, but you can only use one of them at a time. So that was fun getting to see them limit it. Getting to go and see like some of the memory flashes. I'm always happy when I can see Pyrrha when she's not torturing RWBY to. But anyway,
Oh, so you're okay when she gets to torture John, though?
Hey, John didn't do the thing RWBY did. I didn't have to go through that again. But yeah, it was. I'm just always happy whenever I get to see Jen Brown play that character, because the only other way she's going to come around is the Gurren Lagann reference that I am 1,000% sure that I'm not getting, but we'll see. It was just really nice to like see some of the flashbacks of like being back at Beacon, because I think unless they have a final fight there, we're pretty much not going to see it until it's like an after credit scene. If Warner Brothers decides they like the properties that they put out again, and not deciding that they like tax breaks more than the properties that they make. But that's a story for a different podcast. Anyway, yeah, it was nice getting to see them in there. It was a group of voice actors that I've never heard of doing the voices for the Justice League characters, so that was new. But it was also nice because if you would have gotten the regular batch of people, you would have recognized that they were, I want to say, just doing their adult voices as teenagers, kind of. Because the ones that do them in the animated movies now, they've actually gotten like a good strict continuity where they've been doing a ton of movies in a row and stuck with the exact same people. Not how DC used to be, where they would just like, we're making an Infinite Earths movie. We're going to do a War on Apocalypse movie this time. They've like actually stuck in a timeline. So it was nice getting stuff different. There's not a whole lot to the movie, if I'm going to be honest. We're going to talk about plot, but so we got negative. Like anything else we want to talk about before I legit bring up the one thing that actively irritated me in this movie?
I actually think they did pretty well at the RWBY and DC characters interactions. Like it was believable. It's like this isn't really phoned in. Like John and wow, why am I spacing
John and
now?
Jessica were great.
And Jessica, like they were great. I love the whole oh, floor time, is it? Like that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, is it floor time now? Okay, I'm here. We'll sit on the floor.
That was
very much Miles honing in David from Camp there.
Yeah, that was a RWBY volume 1 through 3 moment.
Oh yeah, very.
Yeah. And considering when the writer said in a Q&A that this takes place after volume 9.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
If who I think and what I got maybe spoiled in a Google image is the villain from the RWBY side, that doesn't quite make sense. Because that person's dead. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, it was cool getting to see like flashes of like everything coming back and all that good stuff. But anyway, honest to God negative. I absolutely hate how they portrayed Batman in this movie.
Thank you.
I
agree.
absolutely hate it. With like all of my heart, hate it. Bruce Wayne has never been upset that he doesn't have superpowers. That is not me being a stickler for like, whoa, it's the new no. He only cared that he wasn't trained in time to save his parents when he was a kid because he felt useless. It's not because he didn't have superpowers. Because if anyone has ever read a DC comic book, people are irreparably pissed off at all times that he can outwit almost anyone with superpowers.
Yep.
And then maybe if I stay here, I can do some good. Sir, when has that ever been a problem of yours?
No.
You have never cared about that.
That was probably the one that bothered me more. It's like, okay, I could get over the power thing, I could get over all this, but that doesn't make any sense. He's very all about saving Gotham.
Yeah, and making it a safe place for the giant family of adopted children that he has there.
He has 44 mouths to feed.
It's like unreal. Like crime is happening every 30 seconds in Gotham, and like it felt like they had to create a serious tension issue for everyone that wasn't like the most powerful being on Earth. Like Diana kind of barely had anything. Clark was figuring out like that he's still like a kid at heart and stuff like that, which is very much he's the Boy Scout. That made a lot of sense. I like that. Flash was possessed the entire time.
That, yeah.
He got the Hawkeye in Avengers treatment.
Basically.
Vixen was just being Vixen. Jessica was the big one that got the most hit, which I was very happy with because I'm going to be honest, Jessica Cruz is a great character in the comics that gets shafted whenever they want to do any sort of live action or animated thing with Green Lanterns. She never gets crap.
Oh. No,
it's
always going to be the 3 before her.
Yeah, and they will borderline come close to making up new lanterns before they will target Jess. And it irritates me. It really irritates me because she's awesome. But that felt like everyone had to have a problem and a possible thing that they might go back on. Like, what would even come up with the fact that he would want, like, what reason would he want to stay in Remnant at all? What would he gain? He knows nobody. And he's a teen. Again, like, your powers are that you have bat wings. He didn't even get a semblance. He didn't even get a semblance. He had night vision. Well, okay. Technically, he had like. You want to know what he had? He had detective vision from the Arkham games. That's what he had.
Yep.
Now that I think about it, he did. Because I was about to say he had bat vision. No, bats have sonar. That is not at all what he did. He had detective vision. I'm just realizing now they straight up gave him detective vision. But like that's something you get with a visor in your own world along with 1,600 other things. I don't mean to drag on, but that one really irritated me. And I don't think we're going to get anything like that when we do the other movie, because it's just going to be them, and I don't know how they get there because it's whatever, but it's very much just going to be the girls figuring out, okay, we have superpowers now and not semblances, which weird to explain to people that there is an honest to God difference between the two, and just figuring out how to run with that. I don't think they're going to have the kind of force-fed plot problems. Not plot problems, character development problems that they had in this, because it's just going to be, we got it, let's solve the issues kind of thing. Did anyone have any other issues with any other characters? I want to say ideologies or like plot lines.
No,
I didn't really have any issues there. Like, I even thought the 2 slight jealousy plots were fine too. Though I gotta admit, I do kind of like the one between Cyborg Nora and Ren more, because that was just funny to see Ren.
It was enough. It was enough to where it was innocent and they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm okay with that. That's fine. The one where you had Yang lusting after Wonder Woman, I'm like, I get it. That, like, not lusting, like, obviously showing that, hey, I like everything involved in that situation. It's okay. She's allowed to show that she likes the ladies, and I'm okay with that. So, yeah, all that was good. Overall, I liked it. Just almost any time they brought up that, I was just like, Weiss, I love you. Shut the hell up. Because you're making no sense. All right. Yeah. If you guys got anything else to bring up, anything at all, I'm pretty much done.
I just like with Jessica how much I can relate to her, what she was going through. She's missing that sacred piece to her. She's freaking out. Yeah, I think all of us have gone through that more than once.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. And not feeling that, like, feeling useless without something, and having to realize that you're still good without it. I'm not saying that they made Jessica Simone for certain points, but I'm just gonna shut my mouth. She was glowing green, people. I couldn't help myself. But yeah, it was fine. I'm not sure when we're going to do part 2. We're just gonna have to figure out when that happens, because rest of the year I'm pretty open, so we could just figure out a weekend for whatever works. But yeah, we ain't got anything else. I guess we get out of here. So where can everybody find you, Ray?
You can find me most places under the username of Ray Sketch It, where I post art when I feel like finishing it.
She finished 2. I'm proud of her. I haven't gotten a chance to
Joke's
show
on you. I finished 4. You just only saw 2.
Oh boy. It only took you, how long is it since we recorded a RWBY episode?
Oh no, when did we record RWBY?
You don't want to answer that question, do you?
No, I seriously don't remember. When did RWBY end?
Let's see.
Sometime before the summer?
Give me exactly a couple of seconds. I
think you finished 2 commissions for me before you finished Brock's.
Well,
yours were easier though, and I wasn't expecting to put in so much effort on one of those. I told him too. I was like, I wasn't expecting to put this much effort in it.
Yes. 6 months ago is when.
Holy.
6 months ago. Kind of nuts. But yeah, don't worry. The effort was great, because seeing the look on those two's face when that thing popped up, and knowing how you have it drawn, that it literally fits exactly in the corner frame of this when it's 3 people talking, is magical. So I can just make the background and then pop that into an editor and make the other background and just flip it into the thing whenever I want, and it looks exactly like it's looking at Blake the whole time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Perfect.
It's wonderful.
I love
that. She hates it. It's the best thing ever. But anyway, so Amy, go
ahead. Fiery Summers Cosplay on Instagram is where you're gonna mainly find me.
Nice. And you can find me. Oh boy, let's run down the list. I finally have Blue Sky now, so that's a thing. You can find me at the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Instagram now, since I actually felt like putting cosplay photos up, since I'm back to going to conventions again for the first time since 2019. Twitch and YouTube all at Organoid Zero. I'll be actually back to streaming now that I'm back from my long vacation. So yeah, until next time, we will see you all later. Bye.